be afraid to be creative. And so I think oftentimes, we look back on a process or a system and it works, right? And so we're like, well, why change it? It's delivering the results that we need. And so it goes kind of hand in hand with that learning agility. You have to be creative and to take risks and try something that you haven't before. And maybe it's an off the wall solution, but oh my goodness, the innovation that can come from being creative, it can expand beyond so much of what you are anticipating. So definitely, I would say be creative.
This is just advice in general. Terry Lundgren was the CEO of Macy's when I started my career there, and he said, bloom where you're planted. And I think that a lot of, everybody right now is seeking purpose and passion. And I think about my first job. I worked at Big Mike's Super Subs, and I was a sandwich maker. And I loved that job. And I really, truly have loved every job I've ever had. And I think it's a little bit of a mindset. And wherever you're at in your journey, that's where you should be. And taking lessons from that and growing through it. So bloom where you're planted.
Always dress to your audience. And, I had a very, very strong leader at Cisco, a guy called Duncan Mitchell, that was, someone I supported. And I got into more of a smart, trousers and a Cisco, sort of t-shirt that was there. He called me up to some customer meeting and had the meeting and went down, and I thought it went really well. And then an hour later, he called back and says, you can never be overdressed, but you can definitely be underdressed. So remember that. And that was a piece that stuck with me forever.
Best bit of advice that I think I could give anybody, and I'm probably going to look at my counterparts in resourcing and talent on this, right? Is that you do need to get a better voice around the table if you've not got one already today. Because I think if I look at the future of work and the future of HR, it's going to be more and more specialized. If I look to the next 10 to 15 years, I think that we have to be greater than the sum of our parts today. And a generalist business partner model, I don't think is what's going to get us there by itself. So play a more active role. Don't be the enfant terribles of the HR world in your department. Even if recruitment people all think that they want to be rock stars, maybe don't act like it in the office, and just play more at the right level within your organization. I think that's the way forward.
Do the worst job that nobody wants to do and do it the best you can. So that came from a guy that I had the privilege to shadow for a week, a very senior guy in PayPal. And essentially, I was asking him, what can I do in order to accelerate my career? What advice would you have, and so on? And then he said, the problem is everyone wants to do the cool jobs. No one wants to do the ones with no gratitude, the ones with a lot of risk, the ones with where you have to have your hands dirty. And the thing is, these are more needed than the cool ones. And so you just go around this in a niche kind of approach. So there is a lot of supply of these jobs, zero demand, nobody wants them. So if you do them and then you do them well, you're going to be the hero in the end. So that was the context where this tip came from.
We have an incredibly meaningful role to play in helping companies navigate what is an increasingly complex future. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's a lot of things that are changing in the world today, whether it's the next generation of workers and how they think about their relationships with companies, the advent of automation that's forcing skills to become either really, really specific and deep or artisanal. And we as a function have to help our organizations navigate that, and through doing so help the world navigate through this very tumultuous next phase of the world.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment and share so that others can benefit from the great knowledge and experience. See you tomorrow.